Alright, in this video I've got the strongest setup to get the most DPS in the game. That means beating the Reaper raid boss in seconds. But before we get into the video, I want to give a shout out to Michael. Michael, if you're watching this video, thank you so much for watching and thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate all the support you give me on the channel. And if you would like a random shout out in a video, don't forget to subscribe to give a shout out to any of my random subscribers in every video. But now with the intro out of the way, let's get right into how to achieve this build right here. So the entire backbone and strength of this build comes from the Cosplay pet and the Redblade Cosmetic. You achieve both of those items in the payload shop. If you go from this bottom tab right here and scroll, you'll see the Redblade and the Cosplay pet. And here's what they do. The Cosplay pet gives you 25 damage, 30 critical damage, 20 skill damage, 10 crit chance, and every 5th attack does triple damage. And while I'm at the pets, I've got the AP+HP pet here. You can pause to see what it does. And here's what the Redblade does. It gives you 50 health, 35 flat damage, 45 critical damage, and when you are below 80 health, you get 5 strength. And if you don't know what strength is, it is a boost that gives you damage, and that boost is forever, as long as you're below 80 health. And while I'm at the cosmetics, I've also got the pumpkin head. You can pause and read what it does. But for my cosplay pet and my AP+HP pet, I've actually got both pets upgraded to level 5. So here's what my level 5 AP+HP pet does. At level 10, this would be even stronger. Level 10 is the max level. And here's what my level 5 cosplay pet does. In short, these pets being at level 5 means even more damage. And they are just at level 5. You can cap it out at level 10, so imagine how much more damage this could do at level 10. So if you take a look at our usual build setup, you'll notice 2 major changes, and that's in the passives and in the perk. Before, we used to run HP and AP passive for the healthy power synergy, but there are 2 things that change this. Firstly, we now have Redblade, and we need to be below 80% health. And if we are below 80% health, healthy power is useless to us. On top of that, we've also got Cosplay pet, where every 5th attack deals triple damage. So if we get the AP and the attack passive to get the Berserker synergy, that makes every 5th attack deal 1.75 times damage. And we can stack that with the Cosplay pet and Redblade strength 5. And imagine when it becomes our 10th attack, doubling our damage from AP+'s pet. So essentially, healthy power is now useless to us, and we want to take advantage of the Berserker synergy, as it is now the best synergy in the game. And next, we are now running the critical perk instead of the double damage perk. This change may seem crazy, but think about how Redblade is giving us strength 5 forever. When we use double damage, it gives us strength level 2. Obviously, we don't need to be below 80 health for this, but if you look at our build, we don't have any healing in our build whatsoever. This means that there will never be a chance where we will be above 80% health, because we will not be healing very often. So this makes double damage effectively useless once we get under 80 health. So most people are probably thinking, so why don't you run the undead perk instead? As you can see, I don't even have the undead perk in my rotation anymore. The undead perk is still an excellent perk, don't get me wrong, but my weapons are all upgraded with 7 cooldown, which means their cooldowns are already way too fast, and I don't even have enough time to use all my moves before all the cooldowns run out. So since my cooldown is already extremely fast, the next best bet is the critical perk. And this increases our crit chance by 15% for 60 seconds. And since this isn't a perk that has cooldown and you build meter by dealing damage, we pretty much have plus 15% crit chance for the entire fight. So as you can see in our final build, our crit chance says 58%, but we can add another 15%, making it 73% crit chance. And if you look at our crit damage on top of our crit damage perk, we are gonna hit 200% extra damage every time we hit a crit. And hitting a crit will happen so often that it's going to be really hard to see normal damage numbers. And lastly, I saved the most insane for last, our weapons. The Wizzard weapon and the Reaper Scythe weapon are 2 of the best weapons in the entire game, without a doubt. The Wizzard weapon alone is definitely the strongest weapon in the entire game. No weapon comes close. You can definitely replace the Reaper Scythe for other weapons, but the Wizzard is definitely a weapon you want to have and is definitely very, very powerful. Now, I'll be honest, I do not recommend getting 7 cooldown on the Wizzard. If you see people on the Discord server, they tell you to get 7 cooldown and everything. No, do not listen to them. They don't understand. They don't understand that your skills will just be sitting at max cooldown while you're waiting for all your skills to come back. And for Wizzard, every skill is good. You want to use every skill. There isn't one skill that is better than the other. They are all great skills. Now, I haven't personally done any testing, but I definitely would want to try 5 cooldown and 2 damage. But if I were you, I would upgrade 2 levels in cooldown. I would do a fight using Wizzard to see how fast their cooldowns are. Then if it's not fast enough, I would upgrade it again. Then if this isn't fast enough, then I would upgrade it again and rinse and repeat. So essentially, I recommend upgrading cooldown until you think it's too fast and then go all in on damage. And I'll also mention, now that we're talking about weapon upgrades, that yes, doing crit is very good. Crit chance is good. But just take a look at my build here. I've already got 73% crit chance and my pets aren't even level 10. We are practically so close to 100% crit chance. You definitely do not need to upgrade any upgrades in crit chance whatsoever. It's effectively going to be useless, so you may as well do the rest of your upgrades in damage. And by the way, I forgot to mention, this is how the Redblade looks. It looks super cool. So now that we've got everything out of the way, I will first do a damage test versus the Shogun boss. Then after the Shogun boss, we will see how fast we are going to kill the Reaper Raid boss. So let's get right into the fight. Alright, we just loaded in here. Of course, we also have both weapons at 100 mastery. If you look up top, we've got the Berserker synergy. We are set up here. And I've only got 220 health. I've got no healing, but that's alright. We're going to do so much damage. He's probably going to die using just one attack. So I'm going to use Reaper Scythe first. Let's see how much this does. Only doing about 3k damage. We'll use Nether Sigil. Let's see. 4, 5, 6. Dude, he's already going to die. He's already going to die. It's doing nearly... That did about 16k damage. Now for Umbreal Reap. I'm afraid this might kill the Reaper Raid boss. Let's see. 10k, 12... Alright, nearly 20k. I can't really damage test Willing Host because it's going to go after all these zombies, as you can see. But let's just say it did like, I don't know, 2k damage or something. Alright, now for Wizzard. He might die from this. So let's use its first move. Okay, he died. He couldn't take the whole move. Did 5k damage. We will be right back. The weapon is too strong. We have to come back. Alright, we are back. Now it's the Wizard's turn to damage test. I'm going to do the first move last. We already know maybe it did like 6k damage, but let's run it back and let's use the Wizzard. And mind you, keep in mind, this is without the Cosplay Pets buff, this is without P-Fresh's buff, and this is without the Berserker buff. So this is all vanilla damage. So next we'll do Twin Bloom. Okay. Okay, we did miss a Tornado, but that did about 13k damage. Now for Cascade. We're getting crits pretty often. That did about like 10k damage. Now for Finale, this might kill him. If I'm being for real. Alright, yeah, that killed him. That did, without every lightning strike hitting, that did 60k damage. So that move alone would kill the Reaper boss. And that is without double damage. That is without anything. So let's get into the Reaper Raid boss and see how fast we kill him. Only 42 seconds. What? We couldn't even use our Berserker or anything. No P-Fresh buff or anything. What? Alright, those are the results. Tell me power creep isn't real in this game. Tell me power creep is not real in this game. There is not even a boss strong enough for us to test the combo with Redblade, Cosplay Pet, and P-Fresh. I want to test how strong our 10th attack will be, but we can't even fight a boss strong enough to test it against. Now, I'll say a couple things. First of all, my pets are not even level 10 yet. Second of all, I believe I'm only rebirth 5 or 4 or something. I'm only like rebirth 4 or 5. And third of all, I want to upgrade my Wizzard to do even more damage because the cooldowns are already so fast. So what are my final thoughts on gear and equipment this powerful? I am scared. I am terrified for the Jester raid boss that is going to release this Friday, because genuinely I feel like this boss may have 5 or 10 million health. The reason why I think so is because we can do 250k damage in 40 seconds without any buffs, and that is completely solo. If we need all this max gear to fight the new Jester boss that's gonna release, I am genuinely terrified of how strong he's gonna be. So in my opinion, this is the best and most powerful setup. The only thing that is debatable is switching Pumpkinhead out. Now you could run some more crit chance in your build and instead opt for taking out Pumpkinhead and going with Kill a Face, because it's giving you 20 skill damage, which is more consistent than 25% crit damage. And everything else about Pumpkinhead's stats are exactly the same. The only difference is their crit damage and the skill damage. So there is an argument to run the Kill a Face instead of the Pumpkinhead. And if you actually don't even have the Pumpkinhead, you could run the Kill a Face instead and you'll still see very, very similar results. But other than that, this is definitely one of the most strongest and best raid builds ever. It is beyond powerful. I know I say it over and over in this video, but it's just absolutely insane to me. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please.